There's also 2-inch and 3-inch wide mounted flap wheels that could do essentially the same thing. These are mounted into an arbor or into a drill chuck, and they're made of flexible strips of sandpaper and come in a variety of grits. That's what's in the picture on the lower left-hand page here. These are perfectly fine on graphite shafts as long as you use light to medium pressure, and the grit's something like 120. Even with an 80 grit flap sanding wheel and using a lot of force against the tip of a steel shaft, you may not create enough abrasion, as these things are really designed more for deburring, finishing, or polishing metals. But they are available, and that's why I'm showing it as an alternative. Okay, for putters with a over the hosel assembly, or where the shaft fits over a post, you want to lightly abrade the post to ensure a good epoxy surface. Before sanding, though, you want to test fit the shaft onto the post. The last thing you want to do is, if you have a loose fit, is to put the post on a belt sander and make that fit even worse. Just light sanding with some sandpaper will be sufficient, unless the post is on the plus side of the tolerance, where it'll take some time to hand sand it so that the shaft will fit over. But you want to make sure you have the appropriate size shaft or putter you're using first. Okay, kind of a wrap-up. There's a number of abrasive products on the market to abrade or roughen both steel and graphite shafts. The ones I showed today are the recommended ones that they've been successfully used by club makers over the years. If you're on a budget and you have all the time in the world, there are a few hand methods to use depending on whether the shaft is steel or graphite. If speed and precision are required for your situation, I would invest in some sort of belt sander. Hand drills or motors with arbors will also work, but the appropriate sanding devices are generally not found in component supply houses. Also, make sure you have the proper amount of abrasion to ensure that you have a good epoxy bond. And never over-abrade the shaft, whether it's steel and especially graphite, as that is the #1 leading cause of breakage among shafts. If the shaft still doesn't fit after properly abrading, do not take any more off the shaft tip. Just simply enlarge the hosel with the proper size drill bit. And if you follow these steps, you'll be well on your way to becoming a proficient club maker. Okay, now let's turn it back over to Rob.
All right, great, Jeff. Thank you. While folks are writing their questions here, we've got quite a few here, which is great. I'd like to thank everybody for attending. We'd like to give you 10% off all club making tools and supplies, excluding Mitchell tools, of course. You must use coupon code 709 to receive the discount. The offer expires midnight Sunday. I repeat, the offer expires midnight Sunday, so act now. That's 10% off all tools and supplies, excluding Mitchell tools, using coupon code 709. Okay, first question is from Mike. What grit sandpaper should be used on True Temper TX90 steel shafts?
You could still use the 80 grit. Just use very, very light pressure. Or if you're worried about not having the right amount of pressure, go to like 120 or 100 grit. Those will be fine. Again, use your eyes to make sure you just get that kind of like that satin look to it. Just take the chrome off. It won't take very long to do.
All right, good. Mike has a follow-up, which you answered, but I'll ask you anyway. I have been abrading graphite shafts using a single-edge razor blade held perpendicular to the shaft. It removed all the paint without removing any of the graphite material. Is there anything wrong with using this method?
Nope, it's perfectly acceptable. Again, the one thing I always tell people is if they are scraping, start from higher up the shaft and work your way down instead of going from the tip and up, and that'll prevent, making those cosmetic blemishes, which you can see above the ferrule.
Okay. John asks, why is the black epoxy recommended for ferruless clubs?
For ferruless clubs?
Yes.
Actually, I think it's better for the clubs with ferrules to hide any gaps and so forth. If you have like a green-colored shaft, I don't know if black would look any better than cream or some of the other colors. It's really a matter of personal preference.
Okay. Brian asks, I use the Scotch-Brite wheels in a grinder, but have a hard time getting it smooth all the way around. Seems to be wavy. Is this an issue?
Can you repeat that, Rob?
I use the Scotch-Brite wheels in a grinder, but have a hard time getting it smooth all the way around. It seems to be wavy, W-A-V-E-Y, wavy. Is this an issue? Maybe he's, go ahead.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to get the shine off of it and just a rough enough surface. I'm not sure what kind of device you have and how stiff the Scotch-Brite that you're using is. It may be that it's too flexible and it gives, and that's why it's. If you could find a stiffer one, like the 2 or 3 inch wheels, rather than the wavy washers like the 6-inch ones, you'd probably do a better job, I would think.
All right, good. That looks like it might be one of the last questions. If anybody has anything left, we'll be signing off here in a few minutes. Finish up here. Once again, 10% off on all club making tools and supplies. The coupon expires on midnight Sunday. Excludes Mitchell Tools. And I think that may be it. Jeff, any final words?
Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us today. And I think in about, 2 weeks, Rob, we'll have another webinar. It'll be on ferrules and ferrule installation.
That's right.
And I'll also show you how to make your own ferrule installation tool. So
great. All right, look forward to that, and thanks, everyone, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.